Today's episode of Voiced is from r/entitled parents and is about a daughter who was not happy with her parents' choice of venue for her wedding proposal. But what did she mean by that thing? Subscribe if you enjoy. You cannot propose here, and most certainly not to that thing. As per usual, I'm on mobile and English is not my first language. Cast, you guessed it, little Shitstain, my guardian angel, bartender, other guests. I have the high ground. As I have told in my previous posts, I'm a femboy, which means that I am a man that acts more feminine and in most occasions wears women's clothing and such. For those who don't know what it means, I also told how my boyfriend and I love to have date nights and such. This time we decided to go on a vacation. We took a small cruise. All of this is relevant for later. My boyfriend and I drove from our apartment early in the morning since we live quite a distance from the harbor where we were going to sail from. It takes about 3 to 4 hours to drive. I am totally not a morning person, but my boyfriend was completely gone that morning from work, so I decided to drive so he could sleep some more. We got there about 30 minutes before departure, so we parked the car and went out to smoke. I was ready to drop. I was that exhausted since I work as well and was so excited about our trip that I didn't get much sleep that night. But we finished our cigarettes and got our bags and walked over to the check-in. Enter the witch and her little bastard. Move over. My son and I need to check in right now. We moved over since it wasn't our first encounter with an entitled mother. She finished checking in her son and herself, so we got back to the counter and finished up as well. All the while, we talked with the woman behind the counter about epilepsy. We got aboard and went looking for our cabin. It had a nice double bed, big TV on the wall, a nice view, etc. We packed out our luggage and settled in. We turned on the TV and watched Smokey and the Bandit while waiting for the announcement that we were departing. When it came, we went up to the adult zone, one of the upper decks next to the bar, and who do we see? Yup, M and Ek. Ek couldn't have been older than 9, and this zone was only allowed for people 18 years old or older. I'm 19 turning 20, and my boyfriend is 23. We stood there recreating our own Jack and Rose from Titanic. Emma comes over. M. You shouldn't act like that here. My son is here watching the two of you. But you did well, kid, having a cute girlfriend like that. And nice dress, by the way. I was wearing something like the lace-up tartan asymmetrical dress since I like the punk-ish style. We just thanked her and went back inside to rest a bit. In the evening, we had a reservation at the more fine restaurant on board. We got there, and since we had a reservation, we could skip the humongous line. Some people didn't like it, but stayed quiet, but not her. Why do they get to skip the line while the rest of us has to stay behind? Let me trade with you. My son is very hungry. I got tired of encountering her everywhere, but hey, it's a ship surrounded by water. We couldn't avoid her for long. We got our table, still hearing M yelling at the workers. We ordered some wine and food. We ordered some fine food that I can't even spell the name of. My boyfriend told me that he had something to ask me. He took his chair and pushed it out so he could stand. Eyed the waiter who came over with a little black box. I knew what was happening and started getting tears in my eyes. I had been waiting for some time for this to happen. He got on one knee and asked, "Will you marry me and make me the happiest man on earth?" He barely finished the sentence when I said yes. No time to think. I just did it. I can't think of a life without him. Everyone started clapping and I gave him a long kiss. The manager finally got through the line and saw us kissing. Can't you kiss your partner somewhere else? My son is with me. First of all, I just proposed and kissed to make it official. Second, that is not my girlfriend, that's my boyfriend. You could see all color disappear from her face. How could you do that with children present? You individuals should not do something like that at all. While she kept yelling, I noticed that something smelled like feces, and I couldn't see the little brat anywhere until I looked down, and there he was, trying to pull down my skirt to irritate or something. I quickly grabbed his hands and yanked him away from me. Remember how I said it smelled like shit? Well, it really hit the fan. M, how dare you touch my baby? Like that, yes. I don't think she breathed at all during that sentence. And here we go. M, I will sue you for this. And stop wearing girls' clothing. It is not okay to act like that. And all the usual homophobic remarks. My boyfriend was furious. He normally never lays a hand on anyone, but had I not seen it and stopped him, he would have slapped her into the next century. The woman saw what he was about to do and acted as if he had done it, with the employees and other guests looking at her. She got escorted out, and we got our meal for free. After resting in our cabin, we set out to find the bar. We heard there was live music and good drinks, so we had to try it. We found it after wandering around for a while. We entered, ordered some beer, and sat down. We drank quite a bit and decided to dance as fiancé. And who brought the storm during my waltz? Stop the music. It got quiet. Don't start the music until these two individuals leave. She starts to sound like a typical homophobic priest while pointing at us, all angry. The other guests look at us and start debating what kind of nasty person she was. Enter the bartender. Miss, I have to ask you to leave the bar. Why do we have to leave while these two get to stay? First of all, you brought a child who is most certainly not 18 years old or older. Second, we do not tolerate homophobic abuse. And lastly, you are just a nasty person. You could almost hear her jaw drop to the floor as she looked for a response. She ended up leaving. Music started playing again, and we gave an extra large tip before leaving to our cabin for some cozy time. The rest of our vacation went pretty much without encountering her and her little devil spawn again. We are getting married in August. Thanks for reading. Update. We finally got married last Sunday and came home from our honeymoon in Australia last night. There you go. Even if things hit the fan, you can still be happy. Wow, what a roller coaster of emotions. From the highs of a romantic cruise proposal to the lows of dealing with an entitled mother and her little shitstain. It's amazing how quickly things can change. But hold on tight, because we're about to dive into another story that takes a sudden turn. This time, it's not about a cruise or a homophobic encounter, but rather a shocking discovery that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew.
I literally just found email after email from my fiancé to his ex-girlfriend, belittling me and making fun of me and worse. I am seriously shocked beyond belief. My fiancé, Dale, and I have been together for 5 years. We are as solid as I guess anyone thinks they are before something like this blindsides them. I am in total and complete shock. I'm just sitting here shaking. I can't even cry yet. Dale is at work right now. I haven't texted him or called him or anything at this point. When we got together, he had just broken up with his college sweetheart. She was his first love. I was afraid I was a rebound, but he said that wasn't true, and I believed him. The rest is history. I used his laptop about 2 hours ago to open his contacts list he has saved on there so I could get addresses for our wedding invites. I've been telling him to get those to me for over a week, so I decided to do it. He keeps his contacts info on his email. When I opened his email, I saw an email at the very top of his inbox with the subject line, Jen, not real name. How can I when? The subject line got cut off after that, so I couldn't see more without clicking. Jen is the name of his ex from college. I sat there for at least 10 minutes trying to decide if I should open it or not. I decided he should have nothing to hide, so I did it. Rest of the subject line was Jen, how can I when you are still in existence? The email was her replying to a string of emails between the two of them that had gone on for over a week. Long story short, Dale is still in love with Jen. He thinks about her constantly. He'll never find another woman like her. Even worse is that he makes fun of me and she laughs about it. One email she asks him why I don't make him happy and isn't he satisfied with me? I can't remember word for word and I don't feel like reading it again, but he said something like, she tries. She's just not good though, way too vanilla. I love her, but the only way I can get off is when I think about having sex with you and how wet you'd get. I think every inch of my bed was soaked from your intimate area. I have the biggest erection just thinking about it. And then she answered with a bunch of lols and said she felt sorry for the poor girl. Another thing he said was that he made fun of me for having a large scar across my chest onto my left breast, which has disfigured the nipple a bit. He said it looked like something out of Edward Scissorhands. That is almost too much to bear. He might as well have punched me in the gut. I was in an awful car accident when I was a teenager. I had a big piece of dashboard shatter and basically fly into my chest. I almost died. I've never been ashamed of the scar. It's like a constant reminder that I survived something a lot of people don't, and I should be grateful to be alive. The slight disfigurement of the nipple doesn't bother me either. I've always had the attitude of, if someone doesn't want me because of a nipple, forget them. But to hear him make fun of something he knows is a result of something so major in my life. My friend was thrown from the backseat and lost her life. Is just, I have no words. The emails go on. Some are explicit. One, she describes how she just masturbated while thinking about how he used to perform oral sex on her for hours. I'm assuming that these emails are just a small portion of their contact. The first email in the thread was Dale talking about how he doesn't think he can marry me and that he thinks about leaving me almost constantly. He said if she lived in this state, he'd already have left me. It didn't sound like the first time they'd reconnected, so I'm guessing if I snooped, I'd find texts too. I don't need to snoop further. I've seen all I need to. Obviously, I'm not going to stay. Despite what he said about me, I am pretty great and I know this. He said he misses anal sex. Apparently, I am too vanilla to give it to him. The thing is, I have tried to initiate that as I enjoy it, and he told me he wasn't into that. So he lied, just to cast me in a bad light. I am so angry that I just want to throw all his stuff into a pile and set it on fire. But I won't, because I do not want to give him the satisfaction of knowing how much he has hurt me. I'm not sure why I posted here. It's too fresh to talk to my friends and family. Should I just pack my stuff and leave with no explanation? Just ghost him? I've got too much dignity to scream and cry in front of him. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I want comfort or advice, but I just needed someone to know what happened, so I don't feel so alone right now. My fiancé made fun of me and sent explicit emails to his ex-girlfriend. Just found them. Heartbroken, angry, hurt, every emotion ever going on. Don't know if I should just ghost him and never see him again or confront him.
Before I talk about today's posts, please consider subscribing for more engaging content like this. Today we have a couple of wild stories that really highlight the extremes of human behavior. First off, let me just say, the cruise story is absolutely insane. From the entitled mom, EM, and her little shitstain kid, to the proposal drama, it's like a reality TV show come to life. I mean, who proposes on a cruise only to have some homophobic woman ruin the moment? And then the kid trying to pull down your skirt? That's just next level. It's crazy how people can be so rude and entitled. And then there's the heartbreaking story of the fiancé finding those emails. I mean, what kind of person makes fun of their partner for something as traumatic as a car accident scar? And the explicit details with his ex? Ouch, that's some serious betrayal right there. It just goes to show that you never really know someone until you see them at their worst. I can't even imagine how she must be feeling right now. If you've ever been in a similar situation or have any advice for her, drop it in the comments below. Let's talk about this and support each other, because sometimes sharing our stories is the best way to heal. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Voiced. If you enjoy daily high-quality stories, please like and subscribe to show your support.